The contents of this show are intended for news and educational purposes only. Any products or services presented should not be construed as an endorsement by this station or Tracy Communications. All trademarks and trade names are the individual properties of their respective owners. Welcome to Brandworth TV, America's premier show dedicated to helping businesses grow their brands. A showcase of successful businesses and their leaders, advertising news, tips of the trade, and thought-provoking and entertaining ads. Brandworth TV is brought to you by American Flatbread Frozen Pizza, Fratello's Italian Grill and Homestead Restaurants. Also by Pele, New Hampshire Center for Laser and Medical Aesthetics. Here's our host, Kevin Tracy.
Welcome to the show. If you're interested in business, advertising, marketing, and growing your brand, then you're absolutely in the right place. Today's show is going to feature a nonprofit organization that most of us already know. It's called Plymouth Plantation, and it's a living museum in Plymouth, Massachusetts. And we couldn't have visited on a better time of the year or a better day. We're also going to Gelato Fiasco in Brunswick, Maine, to talk to some young entrepreneurs who are making authentic Italian gelato. And as always, we have some great TV ads, guerrilla marketing tips, and news from the advertising and marketing world. If you watch our show, you know that I love engaging ads. Here's one that I came across this week for Cadbury Dairy Milk, and it's called Eyebrows. It's very funny, and having kids in this ad really works.
Tonight, move your body from left to right. To all you freaks, don't stop the rock. That's freestyle speaking and you know what hot. Freestyle speaking in the house tonight. Move your body from left to right. To all you freaks, don't stop the rock. All freaks, that's freestyle speaking in the house tonight. Move your body from left to right. To all you freaks, don't stop the rock. That's freestyle speaking and you know what hot.
I'm not sure why I like that so much, but I thought I'd share it with you. In the I wish I thought of that category, I'd like to share some very funny signs. Signs are an important form of marketing, and I ran across a website called funnysigns.net. I think they're hysterical, but I didn't want to laugh alone, so I put a laugh track in. Let's start with this one. Golden Dragon Chinese Restaurant. Pet missing, no blame us, blame hurricane. How about this one? Pastor Peter just won the lottery. $10 million. Go find another church. Divorce can be brutal, and here's a sign. Yard sale, divorce. Hurry before the spouse gets home. Another yard sale sign. Our husbands are making us sell stuff. Yard sale, Saturday 9 to 12. Here's another one. Septic tanks pumped. Swimming pools filled, not the same truck. Need a good screw? Ace Hardware. And here's a billboard from the American Medical Marijuana Association. Dude, we totally forgot our slogan. And here's the last one from Hallmark. Face it, you'll never come up with anything clever on your own. We've all heard dumb blonde jokes, right? Well, I happen to know from experience that blondes aren't dumb. However, Mercedes made an ad entitled, Beauty is Nothing Without Brains. So take a look at this.
Hello? I'd like to order french fries, a burger, and a milkshake.
This is a library.
I'd like to order french fries, a burger, and a milkshake.
We take earth and fire and water and sky and a little bit of sunshine too. We put the staff of life with savory surprise and make it flat out good for you. We make fun food nutritious, American flatbread, and good food delicious, American flatbread, honestly delicious, American flatbread.
Go to afbcoupons.com for $2 off.
What does it take to have extraordinary advertising? It takes creativity. It takes experience. It takes empathy. It takes vision. It takes imagination. It takes a God-given sense of knowing the difference between what's good and what's great, and never settling for good. It takes innovation. But most of all, it takes courage. Tracy Communications, creating engaging, branded, award-winning content for all types of media. TracyCommunications.com.
Welcome back. We're here today with Richard Pickering, who is the Deputy Director of Plymouth Plantation. Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
How's it going today?
Good.
It's a beautiful day out there. And
it is gorgeous.
I see the kids walking around the plantation. And
at this time of year, about mid-November to the end of the month, we will see about 2,000 school children a day from across New England.
I understand you've been here quite a long time.
I started at Plymouth Plantation in 1984 as a colonial role player. And even though I'm the deputy director, I still occasionally role play. So 25 years later, I'm now my own father-in-law. Because in 1984, I played Robert Bartlett, who married Mary Warren. In 2013, I'm playing Richard Warren, that character's father-in-law. So you grow up at the museum in many ways.
Richard, tell me about the experience when someone comes to the plantation.
We have 4 major sites. Mayflower II, which is a full-scale reproduction of the ship that brought the Pilgrims in 1620. We also have the Wampanoag home site, which is a recreation of the place where Wampanoag men and women lived near the Pilgrims, because Massasoit, the great sachem, sent Hobbamock and his family to live near the English, to interpret for them, but also to be an ambassador to them. We have the 17th century English village, which is a full-scale reproduction of what Plymouth looked like 7 years after Mayflower landed. It's the last year everyone lives in the little walled town. What sets that site apart is that once you walk into the walled community, it is that day in 1627. So if you visit April 5th, 2014, it's going to be April 5th, 1627 for all the people the guests are encountering, and we play out the entire year. The funerals, the court sessions, the scandals, the weddings.
Scandals?
Oh yeah, there's a huge scandal. In November 1626, there is a shipwreck off what would become the town of Chatham on Cape Cod. Mm-hmm. All of those people cannot get to Virginia. They say to the people at Plymouth, can we live with you until we get a boat? What happens very quickly is it's suspected that one of the gentlemen is keeping his housekeeper as his mistress. Oh, wow. They're called to court twice. No, we're pure as the driven snow. Before they're called to court the third time, she's started to show, and they steal a boat and get out of here.
When they first came, when they landed here, and they set up the settlement, how many people were here? And I imagine it must have been pretty difficult to do what they were doing.
I've been at the museum 25 years, and I still can't really imagine how horrific the first winter must have been. That they arrived off of Cape Cod in November 1620, 102 people, and by February of 1621, half of them were dead. And William Bradford says there were days 2 and 3 people were dying, and that at their very worst, only 5 to 7 men were well enough to take care of everyone else and bury the dead.
How about Thanksgiving dinner? I saw some video of a reenactment. Do you do that here?
At our visitor center, we will serve hundreds, maybe even close to 1,700 Thanksgiving dinners in the day. We do 4 beautiful dinners that are the same dinner served at Harvard University after President Lincoln declared the first national holiday. People can book those in they get sold out months in advance because it's such a memorable dinner.
When you became the deputy director, I was told that you've done a lot of interviews. In fact, you had the History Channel here, you've got networks, you've got people from Japan, you're being interviewed by people all over the world. What do you think you can attribute that interest to people from outside of the United States?
I have an amazing story. We got a phone call from a Chilean American who has come to this country 17 years ago, and his ESL program was not going to be funded. And he decided, I'm going to call the Chilean miners, all of those men that were trapped for almost 2 months. Would they come to Massachusetts and help us raise money for the ESL program?
What's the ESL program?
English is a second language.
Oh, okay.
Miner number one, the young man who was sent out first to make sure that the elevator would work, that the other men could follow him out of the earth, he came. And then the oldest of the miners, who had been through 33 collapses, he came. And Angel had a miner on each arm, and he was crying. And I said, Angel, why does this mean so much to you? And he said, Richard, you don't have to have someone who came on the Mayflower for this to be meaningful to you. This is my story. Plymouth Plantation is the spirit of the United States. I can see myself here. And I think that's why people visit us, particularly American visitors. Unless we're indigenous, we all have that original American.
How do people learn more about Plymouth Plantation?
We've got a great website, plimoth.org.
Not why.
Not why. The founders of the museum took the antique spelling of the town, Plimoth. They can follow us on Twitter. They can become Facebook friends because there's so much going on here. For anyone in your audience that teaches, our website is the perfect tool for teaching Thanksgiving.
This has been a fascinating interview. Thank you for this. Thank
My
you very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you, Kevin.
If you could leave our audience with one thing, what would you leave them with?
I think to live a life conscious of those that have gone before us, and that we stand on the shoulders of giants, that the men and women who came here, the native people who helped them to survive and who greeted them and who have survived. Often there are impressions that the native people disappeared, and they haven't. They've persisted and they live all around us. It's important to remember those that went before us and to be thankful for what they did.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Kevin.
We're going to be right back right after this message.
At Hampstead Hospital, we are committed to providing our patients and families effective treatment in a caring environment. Our highly skilled and experienced staff assesses patients' unique treatment needs. We are dedicated to listening to patients and their families. Our programs include child, adolescent, and adult psychiatric services, drug and alcohol treatment, and programs for developmental disorders. Learn more by visiting hampsteadhospital.com.
Have you been wondering what's hot and what's not in advertising, marketing, and public relations? With the news you can use, here's Kevin Tracy.
Hershey is in the news again. Hershey announced that it would launch a brand of caramel candies in the U.S. in January. They'll be called Lancaster. The brand was first launched in China with a slightly different recipe to make it fit into the Chinese milk candy category. The American version is more buttery, sweeter, and a bit salty. Having trouble having your kids eat their fruits and veggies? Well, according to Ad Age, Disney Consumer Products announced that sales of Disney-branded fruits and vegetables have tripled over the past year, with more than 3.1 billion servings sold in North America since 2006. Mickey Mouse mangoes, anyone? The marriage between Martha Stewart and J.C. Penney will come to an end 4 years sooner than expected. In 2011, J.C. Penney invested $38.5 million in the Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia. The original deal was to last until 2021, but J.C. Penney will give back 11 million shares that it bought and the right to board representation at Martha Stewart Living to end the deal in 2017. Ad Age reported that sales of the Dodge Durango climbed by 59%, thanks to the TV ads featuring the 1970s news anchor Ron Burgundy, played by Will Ferrell. This is an interesting co-promotion with Paramount Pictures. Each ad is tagged with Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues. I guess it's working. We'll be right back with our second guest, but first let's take a look at a couple of my favorite Dodge Durango ads.
Power, precision, elegance, grace and form, truth and function. Sometimes the luxurious things in life are... Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here! Get out of here, you dumb dancers! I've told them 100 times they can't dance in here. I got a beast of a machine here, the last of the real SUVs, and I walk into a bunch of dancers. I think they live in the rafters. So we might want to check that out. Let's spray for dancers in here, okay? Little encampment. Just empty ramen cups and soiled leg warmers. Bunch of dirty dancers. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I lost my temper. I haven't had my morning coffee. Can we bring the dancers back? Let's just talk. Listen, I'm sorry. You're highly professional at what you do. Get here, bring your... You know, a lot of people will tell you about the Dodge Durango's available Hemi V8 engine and 360 horsepower, but I'm the only one with the guts to tell you about the glove box. 0.1 cubic feet of storage, 12-volt light bulb, all in beautiful injection molded thermoplastic olefin. Comfortably fits 2 turkey sandwiches, 6 ball-peen hammers, 70 packs of gums, 20 rulers. This thing goes on for inches. Starting to get the picture? Oh, yeah. This glove box I've been talking about? It comes standard. I know it's just a curtain, but I can't get out. On my right is the new Dodge Durango. She's got it all, including 25 Impaguz highway. What? Mupaguz? Impaguz. Impaguz. I don't know what that stands. I mean, you don't need 25 of anything. Unless it's a euphemism for babes. Then it's not enough.
So relaxing, so inviting, just like home but more exciting. Where you wanna go, where you wanna go, the Homestead Restaurant, where you wanna go.
Welcome to Homestead Restaurant. Enjoy fabulous food, cocktails, and fireside dining in a truly authentic country home setting. Happy hour Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6.
The Homestead Restaurant, where you wanna go.
Welcome back to the show. We're in Brunswick, Maine with Josh Davis. Welcome to the show, Josh.
Hi, how are you?
You are the co-founder and CEO.
That's correct.
Of this wonderful new business, sort of new, right? It's called Gelato Fiasco.
That's correct, yeah.
And how did that, first of all, a lot of people know sort of what gelato is, but can you tell me what it is first?
Absolutely. So that's our most common question, actually. People come in, they've heard of it, but they don't quite know. Gelato is Italian-style ice cream, and it's different than American-style ice cream. It's made
how is it?
It's made with milk instead of cream as the first ingredient, and it's more dense than ice cream. And for us, gelato, great gelato, is all about bold and intense flavors. So they really come through in the dessert.
Does that mean it's less fattening because it's milk instead of cream?
Yeah, technically, but we don't sell it necessarily as a health food.
But is it all natural?
The list of ingredients in gelato is very short. It's milk, sugar, and cream, and then whatever you're using to get the final flavor. So simple flavors like vanilla bean is just hand-scraped vanilla beans. We make crazy flavors that have 5 ingredients but everything's made with whatever the flavoring says it is.
First of all, whatever possessed you to go with Italian ice cream?
In Maine, yeah.
Yeah, anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Bruno and I are the 2 founders, and we're college friends, and we were looking for something that would be fun for us to do and a challenge. But what really attracted us to gelato is as a business was gelato is really popular in Italy. It's a small country. There are thousands of gelaterias. And in the United States, no one was really making gelato like they do in Italy. And we saw an opportunity to make gelato from scratch, just like they do in Italy, and create a fun and exciting place for people to come and hang out and have our gelato.
You're a fairly new business. You're in Brunswick, Maine, and you're also in Portland, Maine.
Right.
But you also told me that you're in grocery stores?
Right. This shop that we're in right now in Brunswick has been around for about 6 years, actually. But we expanded into Portland, Maine, which we have a spot in the Old Port about 2 years ago. And we've been in some smaller grocery stores for several years. So we changed our packaging so it looked good and looked like a product you'd see at a Whole Foods store or a Stop and Shop or a grocery store. And we've had some success. We're just this week we're rolling out into the Fairway stores in New York City, which is a really great partner for a company like ours.
How does one get into a store like that? I was talking
persistence.
Persistence. I was talking to another guest who has rustic crust and American flatbread pizza,
Right.
and he said the main thing for him was getting it in front of people and having them taste it.
That's absolutely that's our strategy, and that's how we started the company. Is we feel really strongly that when people taste our gelato, they say, "Wow, that tastes amazing," and they buy it afterwards. So it's about introducing the product. We have the barrier of people not knowing what gelato is in the first place, but we break that down. We put the product in front of them, they taste it, they try it, they like it, and they'll become regular customers.
What kind of things are you doing to market the company?
It's our most important marketing is really the word of mouth that we create by the experience that customers have in our stores and with our product themselves. And we're a really small company. We don't have a lot of resources to spend on big campaigns or media campaigns. So for us, it's about connecting with people, and we do that directly with them through social media, and we have a very robust response system. So
do you have a website?
Yeah, we do have
What
a
is it?
website. It's gelatofiasco.com.
When they come in, what kind of things do they say about the product? Other than, of course, they're going to say it's delicious, but do they say anything like it's...
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow, I can't believe that tastes like X flavor. People's reaction are almost universally positive.
Do you have machinery that makes this, or is it more or less handmade? Tell me about making it. You know, you do something with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have some machinery, but our product is handmade in that we are making our own bases from scratch, which is taking the raw ingredients. We get milk delivered regularly, we get cream delivered, we get bags of sugar delivered, and we're cooking our own bases. We're preparing fruit and preparing cookies and nuts and everything, and we're adding them to the base to make the final flavor.
Now, in your other locations, do you make it there too, or do you just make it all here and ship it to other places?
It's an important part of our values as a company that the gelato is made on site, fresh, and we make gelato each day at our shop in Portland. We make it each day here in Brunswick. The gelato that we make for our pint operator, our grocery store distribution business, we've recently invested in a new building in Brunswick, just maybe a half mile from here, where that facility is 100% dedicated to making our grocery store business. So we have kind of 3 operations going every day, and at each place we have gelato makers that are making our product.
How many flavors have you, let's say, since you started the business, how many flavors have you done?
I don't know what the count is today, but over 1,000 at this point.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
1,000 different flavors.
So
is there a favorite that you could say is the best seller?
Well, we have a flavor called Sweet Resurgam. That Resurgam is the Latin motto for the city of Portland. We started the flavor actually as a very limited time flavor when we opened our Portland store about 2 years ago. And it was a burnt sugar caramel with roasted almond with chocolate chips and a salted caramel swirl.
Sounds delicious.
And we did it as a commemorative flavor. It was going to be a limited run, and it turned out that year to be the most popular flavor. We continue to have it every day in our stores practically. It's in our pint business now, and it won in 2012 in a contest against 12 other ice cream makers that submitted Maine ice cream made in Maine. It won the best flavor of 2012.
Josh, thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun talking to you, and I hope that my audience gets out there and tries some gelato. I'm going to try some very shortly. So thank you again.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back with more Brandworth right after this.
Palais, New Hampshire Center for Laser and Medical Aesthetics. Our state-of-the-art laser and light-based treatments, beauty solutions using injectables such as Botox and dermal fillers, and aesthetic treatments to enhance your skin and maintain a healthy, glowing complexion are now here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Are you ready for flawless skin? Then call our medical professionals at Palais, New Hampshire Center for Laser and Medical Aesthetics, 603-627-7000.
Here's Kevin with this week's Guerrilla Marketing Tips.
People prefer to conduct their business with people that they know and they trust. So volunteering at community or charitable events will give prospects a favorable view of you and your company. This also puts you in good position to network with people and maybe get some insider info on pending or future projects within the community. Causal marketing is another way to help you grow your business. Donate a share of your profits or your services or volunteer at local charities. It's a good thing to do.
What does it take to have extraordinary advertising? It takes creativity. It takes experience. It takes empathy. It takes vision. It takes imagination. It takes a God-given sense of knowing the difference between what's good and what's great, and never settling for good. It takes innovation, but most of all, it takes courage. Tracy Communications, creating engaging, branded, award-winning content for all types of media. TracyCommunications.com.
And now back to our host, Kevin Tracy.
That does it for this week's Brandworth. We hope that you found something in today's show that'll help you build your brand. Having you involved is very important to us, so if you have an idea, a guest, a topic, or a comment for the show, please let us know. You can visit our website, brandworth.tv, tweet us at brandworthtv, or visit us on Facebook. I'm Kevin Tracy, and remember, people buy people, so be your brand and represent it everywhere you can. Think positive. I'll see you next week.